The movie takes place in West Berlin in the fall of the 1970s. What really happened, the hijacking of an airplane by the PLOF and imprisonment of members of the RAF are reported on in the background. Patricia, a teenager played by Chloe Grace Moretz, runs through the streets of Berlin to get to her therapist's office. Her psychologist, an old man named Joseph Klemperer, comes to see her. Tilda Swinton, credited as Lutz Ebersdorf. Patricia says that the teachers at her dance academy are witches who have been trying to take her body. Dr. Klemperer is obviously not sure. Then Patricia runs out of the office, leaving behind a bag full of her things. Susie Banyan, a dancer from the United States played by Dakota Johnson, gets off a train in Berlin. She walks to the dance school and tells them that famous dancer Madame Blanc, Tilda Swinton, has asked her to try out. She starts auditioning in front of two of the other instructors. Madame Blanc can feel Susie's presence from several rooms away. Madame Blanc seems to appear out of nowhere in the room where Susie is trying out to watch her. Since Patricia has left the academy, they decide to let Susie join. In the evening, the teachers get together. The truth is that they are a group of witches. The witches vote on whether or not Madame Blanc should replace Mother Elena Marcos, Tilda Swinton in a third role. Mother Marcos isn't there, and it's said that disease has done a lot of damage to her body. Most of the people vote for Mother Marcos to stay in charge, even though her plans killed Patricia. The witches notice that Mother Marcos has told them to try to finish the ritual they were doing on Patricia with another student. Susie meets teenage English dancer Sarah, Mia Goth, who helps her get settled in at the academy. Susie finds out that the dance academy has been around for a long time, even during World War II, and that all the students live and eat for free. Susie has a lot of natural talent and also seems to understand how the witches' powers work. The teachers introduce Susie to the other girls and say that Patricia left them to join the revolutionaries, like the RAF. Olga, Elena Fakina, a dancer, loses it and says that the teachers are lying. As Olga leaves the academy, Madame Blanc asks Susie to dance a part and seems to give her hands and feet a kind of light. Susie starts to act, but she doesn't know that her dance moves hurt Olga, who is stuck in a hidden room. By the end of the dance, Olga's body is so broken and twisted that she is barely alive. Olga is stuck on a meat hook by the other witches, and they drag her down a secret passageway. Later, the witches see what Susie's dance did to Olga. They realize that Susie couldn't have known what she was doing, and that she did more of what they wanted than they thought she would. During one practice, Susie starts dancing while Mother Marcos hides under the dance floor. All we can see is Marcos' clawed hand under the dance floor. Marcos thinks that Susie would be a good body for her to take over, so she tells Madame Blanc to start getting Susie ready for a ritual that will give her Susie's body. Dr. Klemperer, meanwhile, starts reading Patricia's diary, which she had left in his office. He finds out more about Patricia's ideas that the teachers are in a coven. All witches work for three old witches, Mother Lacrimarum, Mother Tenebrarum, and Mother Suspiriorum. Patricia says that Mother Marcos thinks she is Mother Suspiriorum and wants to find a new body so she can live forever. Even though Dr. Klemperer thinks Patricia's talk about witches is just superstition, he thinks the teachers are part of a group of rebels. He calls the police and says Patricia has disappeared. The police go to the dance school, but the witches put them under a spell so that they see nothing strange at the school. In reality, at least one is in a coma and a few of the most nasty witches are shown being abusive. Soon after, we find out that Dr. Klemperer's wife, who is thought to be Jewish, went missing during World War II. Dr. Klemperer has been wondering about her for a long time. Sarah and Susie start looking into Patricia's disappearance. They find out that Patricia and Olga's teachers have erased all evidence that they went to the school. Sarah and Susie also become closer, and Sarah comforts Susie when the coven gives Susie nightmares. Patricia says that when she first moved there, she had nightmares for about 3 weeks before she could sleep well. At the same time, Madame Blanc and Susie start to get along. She finds out that Susie grew up in an Amish family and went against her family's wishes by going to Madame Blanc's dance recitals when she toured the US. Susie's mom is dying, and she tells a priest that the only thing she regrets in life is having Susie. Madame Blanc gives Susie private dance lessons, where she learns how to break out of her dance ruts, and possibly transferring skills from other dancers into Susie. The ritual that Mother Marcos wants to be done by Madame Blanc and her followers is also becoming less likely to happen. Dr. Klemperer goes up to Sarah and tells her that she lives with dangerous people. He also tells Sarah that Patricia thinks the teachers are witches. Even though Sarah doesn't want to listen to Dr. Klemperer at first, she eventually starts to find out more. She finds a secret passageway one night. She follows it to a room full of old things and steals a meat hook from the witch. She also sees a ritual being done by the coven before she runs back to her room. The next day, Sarah goes to see Dr. Klemperer. She tells him that Patricia was right about everything and gives him the meat hook she stole. The witches find out what Sarah did and decide to punish Dr. Klemperer for getting in the way by making him a witness to the ritual they used to move Mother Marcos into Susie's body, stating that the horrors of the ritual will drive him mad. The students are getting ready for a recital that seems to be a ritual before they move on to the next grade. Susie is the lead dancer, of course. The night before the show, Madame Blanc shows up in Susie's room. She and Susie have a telepathic conversation, from which Susie learns that Madame Blanc loves her, like a mother. One of the people who support Madame Blanc kills himself because he or she feels guilty or afraid of what they are going to do to Susie. On the night of the performance, while everyone else is at the recital, Sarah decides to search the catacombs under the school. The recital is attended by Dr. Klemperer. Sarah finds Patricia alive, but withered, in the catacombs, as though the witches have been stealing her life force. Sarah also finds Olga having been driven mad and her limbs missing. As Sarah runs away, she steps into a hole that the witches have made and breaks her shin, the bone literally sticking out of her skin. Some of the witches come for Sarah, heal her leg, and put her in a trance so she can go back into the recital. As the performance gets closer to its climax, Madame Blanc is told that the transfer will happen that night. At the end of the story, Sarah's shin breaks again, and everyone rushes out of the school in a panic. Dr. Klemperer is especially worried because he noticed that Sarah's eyes had changed color, and now he thinks that the teachers are witches. All of the girls go out with their teachers to celebrate the recital, except for Sarah, who is taken away. Except for Susie, all of the dancers are put into a trance. Dr. Klemperer throws the meat hook and all of Patricia's things into the river because he is afraid of the witch's real power, trying to cut all ties with the situation. When he turns around, his wife Anka is there. She is played by Jessica Harper, who played Susie in the first Suspiria movie. Anka says that she eventually left Germany and, due to a series of events, ended up in England, where she has been living ever since. They kiss, and Anka leads Dr. Klemperer slowly to the school, where we find out that Anka was just an illusion. He is caught by the witches, who scold him for not doing more to help his wife when he had the chance and for throwing their meat hook into the river. They bring him down to the catacombs so he can see what they are doing. In the middle of the night, Susie wakes up and follows a ghostly light into the catacombs. When she gets there, she sees her classmates dancing wildly, Dr. Klemperer crying in the corner, the teachers dressed in robes, and the horrible Mother Marcos waiting for her. Mother Marcos is ugly because she has tumors and boils all over her body. Susie walks down the stairs and tells Madame Blanc that she is willing to give up her life for her. Madame Blanc begs Susie not to do this, saying that she doesn't have to and that something feels wrong. Mother Marcos gets angry at Madame Blanc and cuts off her neck and spine. Sarah is cut open while she is still alive as part of the ritual. Mother Marcos then tells Susie to kill her own mother, and she casts a spell that makes it possible for Susie to do so. Susie asks, as she thinks about Mother Marcos's requests, which of the old witches Mother Marcos serves. Marcos says that she is working for Mother Suspiriorum. Susie smiles and says she is really Mother Suspiriorum. She then kills Mother Marcos, likely for perverting the coven, abusing her power, and falsely claiming to be Mother Suspiriorum. Then, Susie calls on Death to come to her. Death kills every witch who sided with Mother Marcos instead of Madame Blanc, the head of each witch explodes when touched. Susie then goes up to Patricia, Olga, and Sarah and asks them what she can do for them. All of them want to die, so Susie kills them all in a kind way. The rest of the witches are then told to clean up the mess they made and let Dr. Klemperer go. The next day comes, and everyone acts like nothing happened. The students seem to have forgotten what happened the night before while they slept. It is said that Madame Blanc will no longer be able to teach at the school. Madame Blanc's neck and spine have been cut off, but she still seems to be alive. Susie may have brought her back to life. It's clear that the rest of the witches work for Susie/Mother Suspiriorum. That night, Susie appears in Dr. Klemperer's bedroom where he is bedridden. She says she's sorry for what her witches did and that their beliefs had been twisted and that Susie needed to get the strength to stop them. As a sign of trust, Susie tells Dr. Klemperer what happened to Anka. Anka did try to get out of Germany, but she was caught and put in a concentration camp. There, Anka died of exposure because the commandant made all the prisoners stand outside in the freezing cold while a census was taken. Even though Anka has died, Susie tells Dr. Klemperer that she was cared for by other prisoners, and that her last memory was of her first date with him and how much he loved her. Susie says that Dr. Klemperer is not one of the people who should feel guilty and ashamed for what they did. We see Susie/Mother Suspiria looking away from the camera and smiling. So, what did you think of this movie? Tell us in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. See you in the next video.